Today I thought we were going to take a quick look at how to create automatic UVs while creating some sweep or swept geometry along a curve in Houdini 15 plus, since it's evidently changed a bit, or a few things have changed at least since 14. So I'm just going to put down a geometry here by pressing tab. I'm gonna add a line, and then I'm also going to put in an object merge. I'm gonna set this to be my temp curve. And there we go. Now I'm just gonna test this out. Set this to something a bit shorter. Put down a sweep node. Oops. There we go. Let's see, we will set the output to skin unclosed in this case. Then I'm gonna set the direction of my line to X instead, so we can see this a bit better. As you may know, there's this normal way of going through creating UVs by putting down a convert node. I'm gonna convert this into a NURBS curve and set the U order to 2 so that I get the exact same amount of points as I had before. Next up, I'm gonna put down a UV texture, and in this one we can just press spacebar 5 and see our thing here. I'm gonna go by arc length spline instead, and then we get a sort of length of the spline dependent spacing of the points. Here comes the thing that's probably baffled a lot of people following version 14 tutorials. The attribute class is automatically set to vertex here, and this is supposed to be point. So if you were just here for the solution for 15, that's all you have to do really. If you weren't, we'll just continue with putting down another convert. And we're gonna set this to be a polygon, and we're gonna interpret through hulls to get the same amount of points again. And now I'm gonna put this in here instead. I'm gonna copy and paste these, wiggle a bit to let go of this connection, and then connect it to the line. But if you go here, you can see there's still no UVs, and that's first of all because we have to set this angle to -90 so that our line UVs, or the width of our thing, is on another axis like this. And then we go through the sweep, turn that on, and here we go to one primitive at a time. And now you can see we have our UVs. So I'm just gonna pop a quick UV shade there and space bar 1 to go back. As you can see, it's very stretched. So what can we do about this? Since our line is on the X direction, we can go into scale and use arc len, which is a function for calculating the length of our object. And we're gonna select line 1. You can see here, returns the arc length of a curve between two U positions. So the next thing we will need are the start position, which will be 0, and the next will be 1. So we got the entire length. The last thing we input is just a primitive number, and since it's a single line, that's gonna be 0. And you can see it once it jumped. And as you may have guessed by now, next thing we do here is just go arc len merge 1, the entire range, and object 0. And there we have it. Pretty much perfectly generated UVs. You might get some weird things happening here. A way to mitigate that, at least a little bit, is to just you can copy the length as a parameter, paste the relative reference here, multiply this by half, and then negate it. The difference may not be big, but this is also a way to make sure that your geometry is always spawned from the middle of your curve. Another thing that you probably want to do when you have sharp angles like this is to start the angle fix. That'll make sure it's equally wide pretty much all over. It also fixes a little bit of the UV stretching. If you have additional problems unrelated to UV, there's also this fix flipping for strange normals. And if we take the original curve from the backbone, the original backbone, we can put in a transform node, just raise it a bit, in this case in Y, and then put that into the reference points, or the third input here on the sweep, and then we can make sure it aims at the reference points. That also fixes some smaller issues. So anyway, I hope that was helpful to some of you guys out there. Let me know if you want more Houdini tutorials. I'm thinking I'll make more. Check out Echo Tales on our blog.kjinteractive.net, and that's it. Echo Tales on Facebook, Echo Tales on Twitter, Echo Tales everywhere. I really hope you'll follow us. It would mean a lot, especially a retweet once in a while. Cool. Bye bye.